got to get to the big number. It is in the billions, and it does have to do with earnings, 52.9 billion. That is how much in revenue tech big boy Microsoft reported last night, beating expectations attributed to the intelligent cloud revenue rising around 16% from a year ago. Guess who said AI plenty of times on their conference call? Yeah, you got it, Microsoft. Meanwhile, Google, not so much. Garrett, what's your take on big tech earnings so far? Microsoft, Google announced positive revenue. Microsoft shares strong. Google keeps flipping around pre-market.
Good morning, everybody. Good numbers on Microsoft. I mean, they're going to likely move much, much higher considering that they aren't even charging for any of this AI stuff yet. But it is just interesting to look at some of these numbers. I mean, you're at a 50 times price to earnings ratio. You're at price to sales over 10. So this looks like a very pricey stock. This is kind of in the realm of the what we were talking about, NVIDIA most recently. This kind of has the shades of the tech bubble back in 2000. But for right now, momentum remains quite strong. It's riding a really strong trend line coming out of October. We'll be watching this. I'm looking for this to maybe bounce off that 300 level and then possibly peel back. Technology momentum remains negative. As far as Google goes, it really wasn't much of a report. It seems like the numbers coming out of Microsoft were obviously the more important ones, but $1.06 per share on revenue of 68.9. The whisper was over 1.5 per share. So web search, online advertising, need to dig a little bit through that report because the big question is what will the long-term impact be of this AI type of search impacting Google in terms of the competition with Bing?
Microsoft's chief executive stated there are in a new era for computing. So are you eyeing any AI plays as more and more companies start to adapt the language, not only in their earnings calls, but also the tech into their day-to-day?
I think you just have to continue to focus on momentum within the market. And what we've seen, companies like NVIDIA, we just pull up that chart real quick. NVIDIA has moved lower since last week. And what's really important for us to note was back here around that April 2nd, April 3rd period, this is where momentum in the technology sector went negative. So NVIDIA could not follow up that trend. It's been kind of peeling off a little bit. But if momentum turns back around, we've got two big events coming up in the next week. Obviously, the Fed report. The Fed number coming out next week, raising rates likely by 25 points. Expectations are that will be the last one. And then we have Apple. And Apple just kind of that, is that massive bellwether. It's the largest weight in the S&P 500. If we get back into positive technology, I'm going to probably trade NVIDIA to the upside. I'm going to wait and see if this peels back to maybe the 255, 260 level.
All right. We get big tech making some big money. CJ, are you seeing any big moves to play in the tech sector?
Pile on with NVIDIA right now. That's been a stock that's been consolidating up at the top of the range. It has been the leader. Garrett mentioned PE ratios, which is one of those numbers that everybody should be watching right now because a lot of the big cap tech names are way, 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 way overvalued. NVIDIA is number one. And go down into the smaller tech. This is weird, Vaz. And this is not big cap, but look at Pinterest, PINS. This one's getting ready to break out here. So a little bit of social technology stock, but little guys.
It's the little people that make a difference, right, CJ? And what was that stock you just mentioned? Pinterest?
Pinterest, PINS. Yeah.
Yes. Pins, PINS. Pin the tail on the trade. $8. You making any revisits to AI stock?
Today, for sure, with those numbers out of Microsoft commentary, AI is Tom Siebel. Stock is being annihilated as of late due to a couple of firms out there, short sellers, Wolf as well as Kerrisdale. They may get squeezed today, so certainly pay attention to AI. We will not deviate from the VWAP in Warlock's world. Doesn't matter our opinions. VWAP is the truth. So if it starts percolating around that blue line, we know to buy, and then we define our trade. So GFAI, another crazy name. So AI, GFAI, certainly we're going to keep an eye on Microsoft as it works its way around that blue line.